There is, however, a place in Los Angeles where you can have it all. A visit to a fast food shrine and a heaving, gloppy bellyful of an American classic. If hamburgers are the #1 food choice for millions of obese Americans each year, then hot dogs must certainly come in a close second. But what exactly is the hot dog? How did it get its name? And what mystery meats are contained within that supple sausage skin? Here at Pink's, one of the best established and longest running hot dog stands in all of America, they've been avoiding that kind of question for over 50 years. I personally love hot dogs, and I don't know whether I actually want to know the answer to this question, but what are the mystery meats contained within?
Well, we have an all-beef dog that is made special for us by Hoffy. And then we've got our Polish dogs, and of course there's pork in the Polish dogs. But the spicy Polish, which I think is a killer, it brings tears to your eyes. People love them. They eat 2, 3 at a time.
Somehow I knew she would tell me how great her hot dogs are and how everybody loves them and not divulge what's really inside. Fair enough. American fast food is based on secret recipes. But how about my second question?
Well, it's hot and it's like those little dogs, so I guess that's why they call it a hot dog.
To the casual visitor, Pink's is merely a feeding station. But to fast food historians, it's a chance to salute a happy marriage, the pairing of hot dog and chili. Just as hamburgers are enhanced by adding a slab of tangy cheese, hot dogs are made more satisfying and classy by the addition of more meat.
We're going to keep on eating them. We love them. I mean, I love them. See, I'm a hot dog lover. I'm right here having my hot dog. I'm getting ready to order one right now.
In fact, the person who holds the all-time record is Orson Welles. He came here and supposedly he had like 17 hot dogs at one time, one sitting, which is a little hard to believe.
Yes, Americans love to eat and Americans love to drive, which is why I suppose it was inevitable someone would come up with the bright idea of putting the two together. Cook while you drive with the barbecue. Chris, what are we cooking today?
I think we'll have some salmon steak and some shrimp.
Okay.
And a little bit of green beans, actually, some garlic.
Because I'm starving.
Now, what we're doing here, for instance, is we're just taking...
Thanks to the ingenuity of Chris Maynard's car cookbook, Manifold Destiny, thousands of grateful American commuters no longer rush home to prepare dinner. Instead, they simply pull into the driveway, pop up the bonnet and chow down.
We just take a few of these, a few of those.
And how long will these prawn steakers today?
Depending on the engine, I would say about 25 minutes, half an hour.
Conceivably, if your temperature is up, like if you had flu or something, you could just slip it in between your thighs while you're driving, and that would serve the same purpose.
That's actually how steak tartare came about. They would take pieces of steak, put them underneath the saddle blankets on the horse's back and ride around it all day. And then at the end, they'd take it out and eat it. This is true. So we're going to put a few more of these nice, fresh green beans, Ralph's special, and then wrap these up lovingly.
You try and make sure that you always have at least 1 or 2 vegetables with the main course?
Yeah, we believe in a well-balanced salad.
So presumably you've got to be reasonably careful not to pull out, like, you know, your brake fluid line or...
Yeah, one of the things we say is if it doesn't move, don't move it.
Right.
You know, don't pull things out of the way. Also,
That's just been cooking or life in general? That's
well, life in general. It's not a good idea to screw around with things like the accelerator linkage because either you won't be able to go or you won't be able to not go.
Yeah. Well, it all feels pretty warm to my 60 fingers. I don't...
Another good thing to remember is to remove all your cooking implements from the engine area before you drive away. And also don't throw your garbage on the side of the road like everybody else does.
Putting all this stuff in here, though, wouldn't it be that when you unlock the food, it's going to taste of oil and horrible engine-related smells?
That's probably the single dumbest question we've heard, but most people asking us questions ask that one. Obviously, if you look at an engine here, you don't see any gas or oil. It's all inside the engine, and it goes out through the tailpipe, and therefore there's no gas. We've never tasted anything, even fish, which is pretty delicate and picks up taste.
So it's a good, cheap, fast way of making food.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Okay, great.
Menu. Take 1 1992 Lincoln, 2 salmon steaks, 6 prawns wrapped in bacon, 1 bag frozen green beans. Wrap food in foil and place carefully upon car engine, preheated for 15 minutes at 3,000 RPM. Just as the West Coast car culture has found a way to prepare food without allocating actual cooking time, so on the East Coast has a homebound Brooklyn housewife done the same. What are you going to cook for us this morning, Madeline?
Jonathan, this morning I'm going to be making a chicken parmigiana. I'm going to be making a very healthy, low-fat, no-cholesterol version of the classic Southern Italian dish. And I guess I'll start working on it right now. I have chicken breasts here, from the Italian butcher, and they're boneless and skinless, as you can see. And I'm going to take one of those and coat it in breadcrumbs.
Okay. Now, what's special about the way you're going to cook this? Because this is a fairly standard and well-loved dish, isn't it?
What's unusual about what I'm doing here is I'm going to cook the chicken in my dishwasher. I think that it is the clean way of cooking and cooking for the future.
Apart from the obvious, the fact that it cleans stuff, how does it benefit the food? I mean, is it a clean method of preparation?
Jonathan, what are you using in your dishwasher? You're using water. What is the purest thing on our planet that covers 3/4 of the surface? Water.
Do you have to prepare it in any different way, any special way?
Yes, you need to make sure that it is encased in a watertight seal. Basically, here I'm putting on my tomato sauce, a little bit of Italian seasoning. It's a very simple, very quick method of cooking. And the beauty part of it is that your dishes get cleaned as your dinner is cooked. So now I wrap it in, you know, several sheets of tin foil, and then comes the important part. I put it into this Ziploc bag, and you have to be sure to get the seal tight. And other than that, you can do almost anything. So now what I'm doing is I'm
Are the dishwasher manufacturers aware of the use you can put their product
No, this is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get the message out there that in the kitchen, in the modern home, is a device that is being used to a very small fraction of its true potential. I think it's a shame, and I think that, you know, here we are, we're Americans, are supposedly so inventive, and here it is staring us in the face, and no one is, like, smart enough to think of it as that. It just makes me nuts. Okay, for now, I'm just going to put it on short wash. So, are you ready?
Yep, let's go.
Let's go. And then you just sit back and relax.
Menu. Take 1 dishwasher, 2 chicken breasts, 2 ounces Parmesan, 1 can tomato sauce. Wrap food in foil, place in watertight bag in dishwasher on short wash cycle.
It's just really knowing how long it takes to cook it, and just you know, knowing your average speed and doing things accordingly. Say if I was going to do some fish fillets, it would take half an hour. About 12 o'clock, we put on the engine, drive for a ways, stop, have lunch, and then you know, if you wanted tea, you know, just stop around 4. We desperately wanted to try deep fat frying, but really had no way, we just couldn't imagine how to do it without torching the entire automobile.
Open it up.
This is it, folks, the moment we've all been waiting for. Ooh, God, smell that shrimp.
Smells clean.
It is clean, Jonathan. That's the beauty of dishwasher cooking. The one bad part is that it's hard to see, and in the summer you do get a little warm.
Now look at these beautiful shrimp. Done to a turn. Look at that.
That's not too bad.
Mama Leonis couldn't do better than that. Take that, Wolfgang pup.
Let's just get it out and let's get amongst it, shall we?
Here you go. Dig in.
You normally serve it in a little kind of a nicer setting than this.
Yes, I take it off of the tin foil. And I reuse the tin foil.
That must be lovely. That's surprisingly edible. Mission accomplished, Chris.
It's a spot. Let's just dig into that, Johnny. Let's see what real road cooked food tastes like.
It's good.
Isn't that delicious?
It's good. It looks good and it tastes good. And my God, it is. Maybe it's the wine, or maybe it's the food, or maybe it's just the light. But you know, you're a very attractive man, Chris. America is not a nation renowned for its cuisine. They'll never compete with the savoury snails and frog's legs of the French chef or the meaty sausage of the German Umpar guy. But never have so many eaten so much so fast. America has mastered the concepts of quantity, speed, availability and consistency, especially consistency. Sure, those unique little family-run places with the charming decor and the dirt-cheap home-cooked meals are really great, but at last count, there were 3 of them. So, more often than not, if you dare venture into a non-chain restaurant while out on the road, pursuing your hell-bent, high-octane, fear and loathing American lifestyle, you'll be emotionally sodomized by fearful locals, served roadkill scraped from your tires, and charged an arm and a leg, literally. Much safer then to seek out a familiar franchised face. But American food was not always a byword for mass-produced, mass-consumed body fuel. Once upon a time, even the modern fast food staples were something special. If America has contributed one food to the rest of the world, it must be the hamburger. And that humble patty between two slices of bread has become the most popular meal in the history of mankind. This is the place where the revolution began, Louis' Lunch in New Haven, Connecticut. Behind these walls in 1900, the very first hamburger sandwich was prepared and sold to an anonymous but appreciative and incredibly historic customer. Hi there, I'm looking for the birthplace of the hamburger as we know and love it today. Have I come to the right place?
Yes, you have.
That's fantastic. Could I order one while I'm here?
You certainly may.
Could I have it like medium well with French fries and loads of ketchup?
You were saying, you mentioned ketchup?
I just like a little bit of tomato sauce.
We don't allow it in the lunchroom.
You don't have it in there?
We don't have it.
Okay, well I'll just have it dry.
And tomato.
Oh, you get the tomato in it?
Yeah.
Okay, lovely.
And how about medium rare instead of just plain medium?
Oh, you're obviously in charge here, whatever you want.
Thank you.
You're very strict as to how you serve these things. Ken, how did it all come about? How did the first hamburger sandwich come into being?
It was a byproduct of my grandfather's steak sandwich, which was his creation. And he took the raw trimmings from his steak meat and put them through some sort of a chopper. As a result, this is the way it happened. The byproduct, as of this day, seems to be more popular than the creation.
The equipment you're using there, when does that date from?
There's cast right in it, 1898. Those are the original broilers that my grandfather started with.
By all accounts, the simple, unadorned hamburger existed for some 50 years before some genius came up with the idea of slapping cheese on it. Could it be that the historic birthplace of the meat patty between two slices of bread is also the home of the meat patty with cheese between two slices of bread?
I made cheeseburgers for myself in the 30s.
Do you think that was the first time cheese was added to the hamburger sandwich?
I don't think anybody's beat that time.
As with all momentous discoveries, there is controversy. Down at Kalin's in Louisville, Kentucky...
Kalin's is the home of the cheeseburger. And here's the menu to prove it. Created in 1934. Well, it was back in 1934 when my mother and father decided to come to Kalin's. This one particular day, Mother had some hamburgers in a skillet. She was putting some cheese away. And he said, "What say you put a piece of cheese on those hamburgers?" So she did, and the cheese melted down into the hamburgers, and he tasted one. He said, "Hey, that's good." So that's how it all happened. And ever since, we sell a few more each year.
Kalin's is the first restaurant in the world to serve cheeseburgers. I believe they are the best. I've been eating them all my life. I still eat 15 to 20 of them a week.
Although Louis' Lunch is a major landmark, it has no museum and no T-shirts. Am I still in America? Surely Ken Lassen could make a fortune, retire and never have to look at another burger again by cashing in on his amazing world's first status. There's obviously a lot of money to be made in the fast food business. Has anyone ever come to you and said the idea of having a chain of the birthplace of the burger, maybe Louis' Lunches all over the country, would that appeal?
No, it wouldn't appeal, but it happens about once a month. And I can't see it. I can't see it because I don't think anybody would work the long hours.
Ken, I'm ready to eat meat.
There you go. There you go.
Looks good.
Well, you taste it.
How come you do it on toast instead of in a bun?
Because we made the first ones, and my grandfather's steak sandwich was on toast, so his first hamburgers were on toast also.
What's your cheese sandwiches?
You know what? I'll never look at another ketchup bottle as long as I live, Ken.